Hello, my beautiful, sweet, delicate flowers. How are you doing? I'm so excited to be here with you today. I'm actually going to be talking to you about something that really contrasts the vibe I'm bringing with my cute little pink top and my little flower speak. I'm going to be talking about predators. And no, I'm not talking about sexual predators, deviant predators. I'm talking about natural predators and the force of the predator in the wild. So, predators get a very bad rep, of course, because they kind of play in arenas that challenge our sense of what's right and wrong, challenge our sense of justice. I know how many of you ever watched a nature show when you're watching the grizzly bear and it takes a little moose cub and you're like, oh, you're very conflicted because on the one hand you recognize that the mama bear is just trying to feed her own cubs with that, but at the same time you're watching life get ripped away from this other creature and from this other creature's child, and it tugs at a certain part of you, it tugs at the heart. So predators just have that natural kind of moral gray tone to them that I really think we should kind of go deeper into understanding that, because when you actually can relate to that force from a place of neutrality instead of judgment or fear or rejection, you as a human being become more empowered in the way you move through life. Because let's face it, the predator exists everywhere, and the predator's not wrong. Actually, the predator is a very beautiful force, like I was talking about its moral gray tones, but there's a deep value and purpose to the predator's role in the way that it kind of it refines the environment, it strengthens the creatures, it provides this tension that allows only the strongest, the most adaptable, the most intelligent to survive and thrive, and weeds everything else out. Without that force, environment, consciousness, animals, everything would be out of balance, and weakness, stagnation would prevail. So the predator is deeply valuable, even when it doesn't feel good to us to receive, because it doesn't feel good to be eaten alive most of the time. It doesn't feel good to receive circumstances that push you down. It doesn't feel good to be in abusive relationships. It doesn't feel good to enter into dynamics that feel like they prey on you. It's actually strengthening your power, your discernment, and your capacity to move through life and to receive more from life. So the less you fight it and the more you open to it, the better off you will be, the more empowered you will be. When we think about the people who rise to the top of their industries, the leaders, the just high-level business people who find success and they hold it and they sustain it, these are people who have been strengthened and kissed and graced by the wisdom of the predator. These are not people who have gotten there because of their talent or their intelligence or their position even, or privilege, or whatever you may think it is that got them there. These are people who have faced the fire and refined themselves through it. Because we have one of two choices when we face a fire, when we face the predator, when we face this kind of force of you're being attacked. We can either kind of lean into it and let it ingest us and be transformed and rise with an understanding of what we now need to look out for, what we now need to be mindful of in our own behaviors, in our own approach, in our own blind spots, or we build walls, we move backwards, we hide, we run away, we deem the world evil, dangerous, and wrong, and we just, slowly start to sink off into nothingness. Because the only way to work with the evolutionary power of life is to be in deep relationship and communion with that predator energy. When we are in a relationship dynamic that preys upon some aspect of us, or preys upon some element of our weaknesses, our desire for love, our desire for meaning, our desire for belonging. When we draw someone into that dynamic and we experience that abuse, you shouldn't turn around and make that about the world. You shouldn't make that a judgment around how people are. You shouldn't say, oh, men are this, or oh, I attract this, or oh, this is that, and like try to make it about the person, make them a narcissist, make them an abuser, or like really make it about them. You should actually take accountability for what it was inside of you that drew you into that dynamic, because that's the true teachings of the predator. It says, like, you weren't strong enough, there was something in you that was weak that I fed upon. So what is that? Are you going to make it about how wrong it is for emotional abusers and manipulators to exist? Because that's just like getting mad at crocodiles for existing. It's just like getting mad at snakes for existing. Like, well, what's the point of that? You look at where you are weak and what weakness lived inside of you that allowed you to be blinded enough to even let that into your life. This is the same with people who rise into success. They face challenges, they face betrayal, they face people stealing from them, they face a failed investment, a loss, something really that makes them question, like, oh, whoa, makes them just feel that sense of being shaken by life. And they don't let themselves be defined by that. They don't make that mean anything. They just take it in as data, and they use that data to refine their process, to refine their methods, to move forward in grace and in deeper wisdom. So this is the predator, and this is why it's so important to become friends with the predator, because it's not about villainizing it. It's not about becoming angry. If you become angry at this force, you will not really grow. You will just kind of like, the old man with the stick, or what is that thing, the old man who yells at the sky? It's kind of that vibe. You end up in a position where, yeah, you feel emotions, but what do they do for you? Like, what is it actually doing for your life to feel mad at something that exists in plenty? There are many people who will manipulate you. There are many people who will prey upon you. There are many people who will steal from you, betray you, all of these things. Your job is not to fix that. Your job is not to reform them. Your job is to look at where you were weak enough to allow that into your life, where you were not awake enough to the truth of what was around you, and how you let that slip through the cracks. This is why the predator is always providing you the most valuable data and wisdom you will ever receive. Through pain, yes, through some kind of suffering, but once you take that in and once you actually adapt, you become stronger. You evolve. You transcend its impact, and you get to a place where that level, that type of energy, that type of like abuse, it can't touch you anymore, because you've awakened. You've been reborn through the pain. You've been reborn through the jaws of this beast that has taught you something profound. And that's why it's really good to have this kind of open-hearted connection to that energy. Instead of making it mean something about the world, you just take it for what it is and you move forward. And that is the original primal purpose of the predator. The same way the sea turtles rushing out to the sea, little babies, the fastest, the most attuned, the most locked in will arrive. And the ones who don't, they just make space for the others to thrive. So this is where, yeah, it feels like it doesn't feel necessarily just, but it's what is. And the more you adapt and flow with that, the stronger, more powerful, more divinely awakened you will become. So I invite you to reframe your relationship to predator energy and embrace it as a tool in your divine becoming. I love you. Bye.